In this demonstration, we're going to look at maintenance window management. We're going to start by looking at the fact that I've got two releases scheduled here for the financial services system. I've got sprint number 1 and sprint number 2, and I've built those releases out. And if I look at those on a calendar, it shows that I haven't applied any particular dates to them. They're just whenever I'm ready to do them because they're set up as manual. But the reality is the financial services cannot deploy into those environments except on a scheduled basis. And so it's actually a problem for me to show it this way because there are specific time periods when it's okay to do this. So you can see right now, I don't have any particular time scheduled here. Everything is just when I want to do it, which is, that's not the way I really want to schedule it. So what we're going to do is go to the administration page and set up a maintenance window. Now this is a window when that environment for the financial services application will be available for this kind of activity. So I'll set up a new window and I'll name it, this is my financial services maintenance window for March of 2016. And I have to tell it which specific environment this is being set up for. And in this particular case, it's the production environment for financial services. And now I need to say, when is that time frame? Well, it's this coming weekend. So it happens to be Saturday and Sunday, the last weekend of the month. So it's going to start on Saturday at 1 a.m. So let's dial that down to 1 a.m. There we are. I'll save that. And I'm going to set up my to date. So this is from and to. And the to date is on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Let's change this to p.m. Dial that down to 11 and this up to 59. So now I've got it set for Sunday, March the 27th at 11:59 p.m. is when this period will end. So this is now a maintenance window for that environment. And because my release is set up for that environment, this will affect how that release gets scheduled. So now that it's been created, and you can see it gives me the name, it gives me which environments that are applicable to this, and when it will begin and when it will end. Fair enough. Now let's go look at our calendar to see the effect that that's had. And you can see now my two sprints now show a red flag here. If I expand these to the specific phases within them and I hover over that, it's telling me that I have a conflict of scheduling for that environment. In other words, I'm trying to execute a release at a time when there's not inside of that maintenance window. And you can see the little gray bar here shows me when that maintenance window occurs. And so what I need to do then is actually move this to within that and no more scheduling conflict. So that's fair enough. Now I have a problem in that I actually have two sprints scheduled, okay? And right now I wouldn't run the second sprint in the same time period. I really want to do that one a week later. So if I move this to a week later, that's okay, but there's still a conflict because I don't have a maintenance window for this second time period. So that means I need to go back to my maintenance window and create a second one. In this particular case, the second one will look just like the first one except for different dates, right? So what I'm going to do is the ability now to duplicate this window. So I'll change the name of it here instead of copy of. This is the financial services maintenance window for April 2016. Same environment, and now it's a different time frame. So I'll look here, find April the 2nd, again at 1 a.m. will be the start time. And my end time then will be April the 3rd at 11:59 p.m. Here we are. So I've got that. I'll save that and click duplicate now. All right. And so when I click that, you'll see a second window now appears in my list for different dates, but for the same environment. Now let's go look at the calendar again. And you can see that now, let's slide this over just a bit. Yeah, I'm all good for the sprint number 1. Let's do a minor adjustment here on sprint number 2. Make sure it's within that time frame, and that red flag has gone away. So now I know that I've got my sprint deployments scheduled at times when I've said that that environment will be available for that kind of activity. So this is the beauty of using these maintenance windows. They help you schedule when you are going to run your releases and for which environments are going to be affected by them. Now, in that demonstration, we saw a couple of things. We saw how to create a new maintenance window, and I showed you that the actions here on the right-hand side give you the ability to duplicate it. Now, they also give you the ability to do a couple of other things. You can enable or disable them, or you can delete them. Let me choose disable. So I'm going to go to sprint number 2 here, the April, and I'm going to disable it. And you can see that it grayed it out. And if I look back at my calendar, I now should see that conflict again. Here's that red flag, because there is no maintenance window for that time frame now because it's been disabled. It's still in the list. I could re-enable it if I want, or just move this time period or create a new one. So if I go and re-enable it, it's all good and the schedule is resolved. Now, the last thing here is the ability, as I said, to delete them. And you have to remember that this is a permanent delete. It doesn't remember that you had it before. It simply removes it from the database and from the calendar. So these are the 3 things that you're able to do beyond creating a new one: to enable, to duplicate, and to delete.